Sorry about that. Good morning, everybody. Welcome aboard to the Morning Note. My name is Carlos Garcia, founder and CEO of GAR Capital. It is Friday, March 22nd, 2024. Glad to be with you. I just want to make sure we have a test on terms of the sound. Test, test. All right, we got sound now. My apologies, guys. I think I'm just going to start doing the morning notes in a sense of just doing it on my laptop because that seems to be no issue there in terms of the mic. But either way, good morning. March 22nd, 2024. Glad to be with you. Dow futures flat. NASDAQ down about 0.14%. S&P futures 5,300. Russell 2119, pretty much Flatsville. Powell is speaking at the moment at a Fed Now conference. Again, we're going to use that as an extension of what he was saying in terms of Wednesday. No deviation so far. Expectation from Wednesday's speech from Fed Chair Powell was 3 rate cuts. That's what we're going to get. So any kind of deviation there, mind you, prices are going to be affected. Good news right now, 10-year Treasury yields are falling, 4.214%. The dollar is still up. Now, that's concerning if you're a Bitcoin investor, if you're a commodity investor, because you want the dollar to go down. That's up 0.25%. VIX up 1%. So that's where we are, 1306 on the VIX. Crude oil, 81.34. That's up 0.32%. Gasoline futures, 0.5%, $2.72. Gold futures are down. Now, this is important. If you guys remember, we talked about gold this past week. This is all Powell. This is from the Fed when the dollar kind of fell. We're pulling back now. Now we know we have a wick high. I still say that we can break below. Call me crazy. I got stopped out on gold. I know. But keep an eye on it. Keep an eye on it. I think gold will pull back if the dollar gets a little more strength here. Let's see. Sounds good. Thanks. Someone said good morning. He said, hope you have a great day. Costas, thank you. That was very kind for you to say. So that's where we are this morning. Gold being down. Bitcoin is down 1.68%. Just want to give everyone a heads up, team. I will be out of the office starting today. So no weekly video from me this weekend. I will be in good old New York City enjoying nice vacation with my wife and taking a little break from the screen. So I will be back in the office on Wednesday, ready to do the next morning notes. Keep in mind that next Friday, is Good Friday. So the markets will be closed. Short week next week. Just want to give that heads up. Even in 2024, tech can be a battle. Oh, William has a question. Here we go. Between Apple and Tesla, it's been a bad week headline-wise for the team. You are not lying. I do have Apple calls. Here is the drop from yesterday in terms of what happened. Excuse me. In regards to the lawsuit from the FTC, the iPhone monopoly, so on and so forth. Okay, so let's take a look at Apple together. Hourly chart, channel, breakdown, but we're still holding that base I talked about, 170. If you guys remember that 170 base, let's hold this up. Now, this reminds me, and I talked about this with our premium and masterclass team, is that how similar this is to that Tesla trade that we had where we closed too soon. Does anyone remember that, class? Anyone here from the server remember that? I got you. Pepperidge Farm remembers. I'll tell you that much. Here's exactly how it went. If I can find the dates. Where was it? Let me see. Was it 3 weeks ago? Here we go. That's exactly what I want to see. We had the break higher. If you guys remember, we had the pullback and then we continued higher. I think it was right here that we had this push higher in February. We pulled back and then we continued long. So very similar price action in terms of Apple, where you get headlines and then you get the pullback and then eventually it does kind of even out. We did get near the gap fill that time. I think everybody remembers those calls that we had. I closed them a little too early for premium. I messed up there, but Masterclass held with me and we caught them. I believe with the 205 calls, this was back from February. But right now we're pulling back again. Tesla, we've been talking about that 160 level. So let's see if we get there. I do have calls personally with Masterclass. Yes, not ideal in terms of these headlines, mind you, but we still have a gap to fill at 186.55. Let's see if this holds. You know, these headlines, it's all about churn and burn. That's kind of how it goes. So let's take a look at Apple. Again, one more time. Upward channel breakdown, but holding the 170 kind of base there. I still say I'm gonna die on that island, guys. I got a month. I got until April 19th that Apple bounces. I will take that bet. Let's take a look here on see, Tesla option thoughts or levels. Yeah, just went over that. 160 base. Part of me with Investment Club, I was like, man, did we miss the boat on Tesla in terms of buying it? Was that 160 the bottom? That's what I'm looking for. There's a gap here at 164.18. I think that'll probably be the place that we start looking at going long again on Tesla, either buying calls or buying stock personally. Listening in from 40K feet. This is cool. I will be on a plane tonight, a red-eye flight. So maybe I'll mess around and be on Discord while I'm listening to Spotify. I love talking to my guys on the server. Do you see any other airlines having a run-up like DAL, which is Delta Airlines, in the next couple of months? You're too ahead of me, man. That's my watch list that you're talking about now. Now you're talking airlines. Now you're talking my language. Yes, we do have a gap to fill here on UAL, which is United Airlines. If we can break above, and we're above the 200-day, let's see what the volume has for us around 50. Fair? About American Airlines. Golden Cross. Now I'm getting excited here. Let's see if we can get above 1488. That's your 38.2 fib. If that does break, let's just retest 16. Again, this is all based on what the volume is going to be moving forward. I'm locked and loaded to buy Apple stock for long term, waiting for the entry. I think your pretty much your bottom is right around 166.76. Right around that zone. A couple of bucks here and there. But I think it looks great for a continuation upside. At least get back to around 185. Square calls. Yes, I do have Square calls, and Square is moving. Masterclass knows, got to stay patient with me. I know it's not perfect sometimes. Well, lately we've been pretty good, but we're buying time for that reason. We don't buy time to panic close, guys. That's not the reason I buy time till April, May, and June, is to lose my mind the first second that things don't go our way. If that was the case, I would just do weeklies. If I just want to play pure momentum, stick with Square. We got that bounce. I know we broke below, right? We hit the 20-day, but we're back above the kind of the double top breakout and above this trend line. So I still like Square to 90. Let's see if we get there. I don't think we'll get there today, but that'd be nice. Let's take a look at Nike. Earnings was actually good. It was the conference call and their guidance. So you could see that we do have an upward trend here. So we're trading at what, 94? Here is pretty much your floor, 92.39. If you can hold that, you got to get above 108.04. And guess what? We have a gap to fill at 120. Nike needs to be on your radar if a big if, it gets above 108.65. So keep an eye in there on that. Excuse me. Thoughts on SPY? I mean, pretty much straightforward, straight shot up, right? Kind of a slow melt. This is just a little too choppy for my taste when it comes to SPY. You're going to have to get above 526 to really do anything, and then you can target 530. Let's take a look at AMD. Now, AMD has two ways to look at it. You could be setting up for a massive head and shoulders, so you better get above 190. That's for sure. If you get to 185 and reject, this is a short on AMD. Now you're talking about getting to 138. We'd have to do the measured moves based on the wick, but right around 140 would be your target if we get there. As of right now, I'm keeping an eye on AMD for actually to bounce, but our main floor is right around 171.23. And you do have a gap to fill at 164 as well. Maybe that's kind of like that magnet gap fill. And if we break below 171, we could always short if need be. But as of right now, I think there's better setups than AMD. Can you go over Sound Chart? SOUN. Never heard of this name, but let's take a look at it. You're right at the 20-day moving average. You're now below it. Based on, I don't know exactly what you're trying to do here, but if you're looking for any kind of support, keep an eye around 488 to 495. That is your double top here. That'll be a retest of the breakout, which you had already once. So again, it needs to hold above that. If it does not, you're shorting it down to 249 because you have a nice gap right there. So it doesn't look great. Not ideal here. Thoughts on Palantir calls? Palantir still has this trend line to the upside. It's been holding 24.37 ever since the CEO started talking bad about the shorts for Palantir. Palantir has not been doing excellent or great as of late. You could see pretty much set here, get above 25.59. We can target 27 or so. And I love me some Palantir. I really do. But get me above 25.62 here, and we can target 27.50. All right, let's take a look at Google. 152.94 is the target. Don't forget, if you're premium or masterclass, I send out the pre-market plan every morning talking about our open positions. So I'm trying to answer the questions before you guys even ask them. I know what you guys want to know. Are we holding? How do we feel? How do I feel about a trade? Are we going to do anything? Should I close? Should I double down? I get it. You guys want to touch some buttons, and I got you. That's why we have a chat. You want something to do? We got tons of headlines to read. We got some really great resources like our videos as well. We got breakdowns as well on our watches and charts. And of course, you could always DM me or tag me for any questions. Here to help in any way you can. The one thing I don't want you to do is just start pressing buttons just for no reason. Take your time. Google's bouncing, which is a good thing. We need to get above 152.94. And if we do, we're going to get it. Rinse and repeat. Just like the last 16 trades in a row that we've gotten. That's right. BAC on the board, in the money. You got to love it. Bank of America. I still like banks. I think we still got to 38.48 on Bank of America. And if that does break, we're going to go higher. We're going to see if we can do some calls. But you can see that was our resistance. We broke above it. We had the 37 calls for, I believe, June. So we cashed those for 35. They're at 40% in the money. I still like some banks in the future. I will talk about it on the watch list. I know in Masterclass we said not enough volume on HIMS calls, but any thought of buying the stock for long term? HIMS. Let's take a look at the weekly. It's a breakout. I don't know much about the company, to be quite honest, in terms of fundamentals, but at least the chart is supporting higher prices. How's that? Can we check Goldman Sachs? Absolutely. We got above 400. That was a key level. Finally, we got above. Banks are doing exactly what we wanted. 426 is coming, guys. That's your all-time high. It's a beautiful chart. It's just going to be expensive. Sorry to say. There's other banks out there that you can trade. Masterclass. You guys remember Citibank? We played the 60s. This thing was right here. You guys remember? We were looking pretty ugly back in February, but you got to hold, guys. You got to hold. That's the key. So if we can get above 64.38 on Citi, we can play long again because these Masterclass 60 calls are for September. So we got a little bit of room, let's just say, to go. So Goldman Sachs, Citi, I love the banks. JPM is on fire. Just straight up, basically. And don't forget, top 10 stock of 2024, JPM, you already know. Been saying it. And if you have missed that video, make sure to take a look at it in our channel, top 10 stocks of 2024. All right, guys, I'm going to go and leave it there. I got to get packed for the trip. Do you think Jamie Dimon will make a bank-backed coin? It wouldn't be his call. Anything currency related is regulated by the Federal Reserve and the Federal Trade Commission. I don't think Jamie Dimon can make like a JPM coin. So no, I don't think that's going to happen. A Fed coin, maybe. I think the Federal Reserve crypto, yeah, why not? And DKNG to end it up, because I do have calls. 47.90, we're down about a nickel. We were at 40, where were we overnight? Around 48.40 overnight. Come on, guys. It's a breakout. It's beautiful. We're going to get to 50. We get our profits and we move on. Hopefully that happens today so we can go 2 for 2 and have another undefeated week. That'll be 4 in a row. 4 in a row undefeated. How wonderful if we can pull that off. And if we can get DraftKings and make 2 for 2, how exciting. You guys need to be joining us. Scar Capital. You're missing out. You're missing out. And in order to join, you got to get to the website, www.gar.capital. Click on Access Our Discord. If you're not sure about our services, click on Free Plan. Check us out. Tell us what you think. We'd love to have you on board. Have a great rest of your morning, and I will see you guys next Wednesday for the next morning note. Cheers all.